Hey family, this is Hiley. The long awaited launch of the paperback edition of 7 Ways to Beat the Repo Man, How to Save Your Car, How to Save Your Credit, and How to Make Some Money is almost here. But I wanted to tell you the story of how I got here. It's crazy. Well, first of all, I wanted to tell you about the genesis of this book. Now, it came about because I had discovered a very interesting trend. Um, of course, as a mortgage consultant, I've seen just about every possible life situation that can cause hardworking people like you and me to get behind on car payments. Things happen. Life be lifing, as they say. Now, back in the fall of 2022, um, I wanted to launch this book in both the digital version as well as the paperback version. Of course, as you know, the book has been available through Kindle Unlimited, as well as there is a digital ebook, but it's a flip book. So when you look at it, it actually flips the pages. That's been available. Many people have taken advantage of that. But I wanted to offer the paperback version as well during that time. However, Kindle Direct Publishing, the division of Amazon where you do book publishing, they had other plans. I'm not really sure what was going on, but for whatever reason, Kindle Direct Publishing software did not like the size and scale of everything of my book. The physical um, cover has to fit within this template. And no matter what changes I made, however I manipulated it, it wouldn't fit. It kept giving me error, error, error. So eventually I took a break from trying to figure that out. And I said I would either figure out how to get it through Amazon, because I know a lot of you guys like to use Amazon to buy things, or go through another book publisher. And so I had set about doing the search for that. Now, I was able to eventually get it published through Lulu Publishing, which is where it will be available. So I just want to let you guys know that in case you weren't familiar with Lulu Publishing. They are reputable, so you don't have to worry about any data breaches or any privacy things in that regard. But back to the book. It through some trials and tribulations, I was able to get that done, and then I went back after redoing everything with them. I tried to resubmit it with Amazon, but it's still a work in progress. So the book will be available in a few days. I'm working on getting the last things wrapped up. So I would ask that if you guys want, I'm going to put the link in there. If you click to the link, you can pre-order or you can register to get the book. And with the folks who register, you'll get the book at a discount over the regular price when you buy it. If you register now, and then you'll get the discount when you go to order the book on Lulu, it will give you the discounted price. And then after the launch is over, it'll be available at a higher regular price. So I want you guys to take advantage of that. Again, it'll be in the link. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about um, the whole thing, reason for it. Here's the book. That's what it looks like. I know you guys have seen my other um, thing, and there's words on the cover, on the back. Of course, there's the book, and there's a lot of the print that's in there. But I made it in sort of a magazine style, easy to read, easy to flip back and forth through the different sections, so you can check and which scenario may make the most sense for you in terms of what you're trying to do with your resolve your issues with your vehicle. So let's go with the initial basics. We know that job loss, reduction in available work hours like overtime, loss of bonuses, unexpected expenses, any of those things can easily throw us into a financial spiral, forcing us to have to make some difficult decisions when you have a limited budget. So, what are some of the issues that the book is intended to cover? I mean, if you got an issue where you can no longer make your payments through a change in income, you may suffer through a major automobile expense, water pump, something like that. Sometimes those can be a little expensive. Water pump, um, uh, alternator, things like that, generator. Um, it may even be even more major where the car may end up having a catastrophic failure, something with the engine or transmission where the expense, not only is there unintended expense, but it's big ticket expense. Motor work is expensive. Transmission work can be expensive. I mean, you have folks that may have suffered, through a stolen vehicle or in a major traffic accident or other damage, maybe just a collision or car parked on the street and was vandalized or something. And people have, when they're having trouble with those budget issues, sometimes insurance lapses. And so now there's no coverage. Or sometimes people are underinsured and the car gets damaged, destroyed, and they don't have a sufficient gap insurance in there, and they may end up with the car being settled out for much less than that. But that's a different story. If you're trying to resolve that issue, or sometimes people just lose love for the vehicle and they decide they don't want it anymore, and so then they decide they want to stop paying or whatever. But those are some of the issues that I discovered, and that those are some of the issues that are addressed in the book. So, beginning back in October 2022, all the way through the end of the year, I had begun to see a unusual trend. I began to see a lot of people with collections related to repossessions, both voluntary and involuntary. I was seeing them almost every day when I'm doing credit audits for prospective clients in my credit repair business. Now, many of the folks, when I talked to them during the credit audit, they told me, I said, hey, what happened? How'd you end up with this repossession? They told me, oh, yeah, I gave the car back because of one of those issues that I named before. They couldn't make the payments, or the car got destroyed, or it was mechanical issues, and they decided they didn't want the car anymore, so they gave the car back. And so that started me on the journey. The first thing I did was, one of my early videos on my YouTube channel is I talked about the difference between voluntary and involuntary repossessions. And then I talked about the right and the wrong way. If you're going to do a voluntary repossession, the right and the wrong ways to do it, and discussed how doing it the wrong way will have a really, really big negative impact on your credit. So anyway, um, they many of them told me, they said, hey, I just took it back to the dealer where I bought the car at. I left the keys in the car and told the bank, come get it, and things of that nature, which is totally the wrong way to voluntarily surrender a car that you no longer want to pay. Right. And so when I started to see people day after day after day, I said, man, I got to do something about it. Like I said, I made the video, I had created a newsletter and was talking about how to do it the right way. Or I said, that's not the way to do it. Many folks responded and said, well, you told us the wrong way, but you didn't tell us the right way to do it. So that led to a video about the correct way to surrender your card, or the correct way to avoid it from being repossessed and enduring all of those late fees and charges, repossession charges, and other fees that they charge you when you surrender your car the wrong way. And then you end up with a huge balance. And of course, that hurts your credit. Now, again, most of them refer to it as giving the car back. And, like I said, that's not the proper way to do it. And you suffer from late fees, and then loan defaults showing up, because when you stop paying, thinking that they're going to just come pick the car up because you called them, and then you're going to end up with 30, 60, 90-day late on your credit report, because a lot of people don't understand that your loan agreement, which is totally independent from the car itself, gives you 90 days. If you get behind on your car payment, it's giving you 90 days in case you to catch up on your payments. Now, when you drop off a car at the dealership thinking you're giving it back to the bank, all you've done is just parked it in a strange place, and you tell them to go get it. They can't touch the car for 90 days because your contract that protects you says that they have to give you 90 days to redeem yourself and catch up on there. So the car is going to sit for 90 days over there, 30, 60, 90 days. You're going to get a 30-day late, 60-day late, 90-day late on your credit. And that's going to start dragging down your score. Then after day 91, they make arrangements to go get the car. But guess what? They're going to charge you no different than if they had to pay a guy to come get it out your driveway. You have to pay a guy to go get it, repossession fee, which is going to add to your outstanding balance. So keep in mind that there's a proper way to do that, that you can avoid a lot of those things. But remember that just by giving the car back does not relieve you of your loan obligation. And so I was working, my main goal was to message that to people so they would not be operating under that false belief. So basically, I wrote this book and I wanted to let people know they had options. So although I was telling them this is the wrong way to do it, I wanted them to know that they do have options. Number one, you can save your credit by working with the lender and follow its voluntary surrender process to avoid or minimize delinquencies on your credit and negative item information that will lower your score. Number two, you can save the car if you want to keep it by working with the lender to make your payments more manageable. I talk about that in the book as well. Thirdly, you can use the car to make extra money to make the payment, to get caught up and make the payment, and even start up a pretty good profitable side hustle. And then you decide, I don't want the car. You can sell the car to get rid of it, get out of the payment and start over, but you have to do it the right way so you'll have a minimal negative impact to your score if you do it right. And how to do any of those things is the purpose of this book. So I wrote this book to show you that you do have options. You do have choices. But even more important, the book puts all of these choices that I didn't cover every single one because otherwise it would have been a phone. It could have possibly been half a phone book. But I wanted to put the choices in one place in a way where you could flip through and reference. You can search, or you don't have to read through. You can go to each section, each chapter, each type of solution depending on your situation. You can easily go through and figure out which one will make the most sense for you and get you the best possible outcome, or in some cases at the least worst outcome, because it is a possibility that you may end up having to pay a little bit of money. And I know that seems counterintuitive, because if you're struggling to make the payment, you think, I don't want to pay any extra money. But remember, the payments go on and on. If you have to make a one-time lump sum to get out of it, that may be the way to go, or maybe have a small payment plan for that. But again, there are options in the book. Now, the purpose of this book is, number one, to tell you your options, give you your choices. I also look to give you ways to get out of your bad situation. And I mean, quite frankly, if you don't like it, you're not feeling it, you want to get past it and move on to bigger and better things. These are 7 ways, but there are also 7 ways out to resolve it. So you can move on to bigger and better things and be able to do that. So in the book, I work to show you how to do what has worked for others in the same or similar situations as yours may be, and that to show you that if it'll work for them, it could work for you too. I also show you in the book how to create a fun and lucrative side hustle if that's something you might do. If nothing else, you can pay for the car. Otherwise, and you can also show you how to make the car pay you, either through your active actions or through some passive approaches. And again, there's some other side hustles too that can show you possible ways to grow into a small business, but I say more of a side hustle unless you really want to get deep into something um, down the line. Also, to show you how to save money by avoiding a lot of unnecessary fees and costs that can add to that outstanding balance. One, if you end up surrendering the car or selling the car. Now, keep in mind that our payment history makes up 35% of our credit score. Late payments, past due amounts, and loan defaults will make your score drop fast. So if you foresee that you're starting to have a problem with your payments and making the payments, it's better to contact the lender sooner than later, and you can possibly avoid a lot of dings to your credit. Now, any opportunity to avoid that negative information, and late defaults, things of that nature, late fees, and any of those things that will ding you. So that's primarily where I started. That's the things where we talk about with when you're dealing with the payments. Now, in the next video, I will discuss ways to earn extra money to help make that car payment or even build a full-fledged side hustle or side business. So thank you for your attention. I know you guys got a lot to look at, but and for those of you that are intending on buying the book, please click on the link below and register so that you can get the discounted amount when the book becomes available next week when I open up and make it available for sale. So, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me either through DM, or you can text me, or you can email me at hiley@creditrenovatorslllc.net. If you have any other input, feel free to comment below in this post. So until the next video, you guys take care. Thank you for your time.